Hello, I just wanted to come back on here and continue the second part of my introduction video. So this second part is going to be discussing my stats, what brought me to the decision of starting my YouTube channel, and also my long-term goals as far as my weight loss and where I would like to end up, at the end of, well, this is a continuous journey. I was going to say at the end of this journey, this is a continuous journey, and just how I feel about where I'm at now and where I would like to go, and just have a discussion about life. So May 14th of 2019, I had surgery. What brought me to the decision to have surgery was I just didn't like the way and where my life had taken me, and I knew I needed to make some changes. And for me, I believe that how you feel on the inside is a reflection of what's going on the outside. So if I feel really good about myself on the inside, that shows on the outside as far as how I present myself, how I speak, and also how my body looks, how I take care of myself. So I had moved, I've moved back here from the state of Virginia. I was living in Virginia, and I was 298 pounds. And actually at my highest, I was 302. And I was just like, man, I've never been this heavy in my life. I've never been this heavy. And I've never felt like this about myself. And I don't like the way I look. And I love myself, but not completely, because for me, how can I really love myself when I'm eating the wrong things and when I'm just not taking care of my body, my temple, what God blessed me with? I want to be here for my kids. So I said, I got to make some changes. And I met, I was speaking with one of my coworkers, and I was like, I recognized that she had some type of weight loss surgery. So I was like, what did you have? She said she had the gastric bypass. And I was like, wow, I always wanted to have weight loss surgery. So she gave me the information, and I called them immediately, like the next morning, set up my appointment, got in there for my first consultation. They ran my insurance. Okay, you're good. And I started my process, and I stayed on it. I was working 11 to 7, and I would leave work tired, but I had an appointment with them. But I stayed on it, stayed persistent, and I did what I had to do. And so I went through all my process. It was a 3-month process for me based on my insurance. Some insurances are different based on just based on different things. Like I know like some insurance is based on the state. It's like 6 months or even longer if you don't consistently stay with it. But my insurance, the process was 3 months. And I had to see I had to go to the nutritionist once. And I had to see the psychologist, the pulmonologist, the cardiologist. And I did well with all that, and I did what I had to do. And so I got my date for my surgery, and I picked my date. They called me and said, hey, listen, you've done everything you need to do, and we want to set up your surgery date. So I had already had a date in mind, and I said May 14th. And she said, well, let me look. She looked. She called me on the phone. I was at work. And she said, okay, May 14th is good. So she said, you're going to start your 2-week diet on this date. So I had to start my 2-week diet. I had to lose 20 pounds. And I was like, how in the world can I lose 20 pounds? But I had already lost weight. I had already lost weight from that process. Going through the process, because I wanted to train myself and get myself in the state of mind of this is going to be a lifestyle change, Shirley. You're going to have to eat properly. You're going to have to not eat 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So I had already lost weight. So she said, you're going to have to lose 20 pounds. So I said, okay, this is doable. I can do this. So I started my 2-week diet. And the first 3 days was the toughest for me because it's just your mind getting adjusted to the fact that you can't just eat and put anything in your mouth. Even though I had already made some changes, just that you just couldn't eat like you wanted to. So it's like if you can get your head aligned with your stomach, you're good. So it took about 3 days, and I saw the weight going down. I saw the scale going down. And when I went to my 1 week weigh-in, because they want to weigh you a week in. I had already lost my 20 pounds. So, no, I lost 17 pounds. And he was like, keep going. I was like, I feel dizzy or whatever. And he was like, just increase your protein a little bit. Because it was like I could have protein, I could have water, I could have Crystal Light, and I could have once a day 4 ounces of a vegetable. And I really didn't do the vegetable. I just really did liquids. And I could do Jell-O and different stuff like that. So I did all that. And I'd already lost my weight. So before that process, let me go back a little bit. I went through this process, and I said, I know I was gonna have people who were going to try to talk me out of, or maybe encourage me to go a different way. And that's not what I wanted, because I had allowed people to do that early in my life. When I wanted to have weight loss surgery, I was like, I'm going to have weight loss surgery, and people would talk me out of it, and I would listen. So I said I didn't want that to happen this time. So I kept this journey, this process to myself, and I had told no one but my daughter, my oldest daughter. I told her. And she was like, Ma, I can help you do it. We can do it together. And I said, no, honey, this is what I'm going to do. And throughout the process, she had kind of like, tried to encourage me a different way. But she was so supportive, and she just encouraged me and just went to appointments with me. She was there the day of surgery. So I didn't tell anyone. And I told my mom like 3 weeks, and my sister 3 weeks before I actually got my date. And, of course they, had their opinions and different stuff, but my mind was made up, and I just wanted to change my life. And I knew that this would change my life completely, and in my mind, I knew it would just do great things for me, and that's what I wanted. So this is what I'm going to do, and I'm sold out, and this is what I'm going to do. So I did it, and I went through the process, got my date, did my 2 weeks liquid diet, and I lost my weight. So the day of surgery, I had to be there. I was the first surgery that day. And I'm telling you, that was like the best day of my life, besides having my children. So I went, I checked in, and it's like I was ready. There was no fear. There was no, should I do this? Am I making the right decision? I was like, this is going to change my life, and it has. So I checked in. They called me. I think I sat down for like a half hour, myself and my daughter. We just talked and laughed, and she ran over and got her some food, and I just sat there. They called me, and then they got me set up in the back, and they allowed her to come back, and she sat with me for about an hour before surgery started. And they had a problem with getting my IV in because I'm like just really a hard stick. My veins are so little. So they took me upstairs to the area where they, preparing you for surgery, and they tried to get it because they put 2 IVs in. They wanted to get a second IV in. I guess one is for medications, one is for the actual IV fluids. So they took me back and they said, okay, do you think, we went into the operating room, and I was excited. Okay? And it just excited in my spirit. So they said, do you think you can transfer yourself over to the other bed? And I was like, definitely. So I transferred myself over, and I'm laying there, and I'm like, Lord, you got me. You brought me this far, and you didn't bring me this far to lose me or leave me. So you got me, and I'm going to wake up. And if I don't wake up, I die trying. I didn't die 298 pounds. Or the day of surgery, I was 256. I didn't die 256 pounds. I died trying. So let them say that. Don't let them say, oh, she died having weight loss surgery. No, she died trying. So I went under, and that's all I remember. So then I woke up, and I was immediately in pain. I felt the pain. I felt the burning. It was more burning and pressure. I had my surgery done by the robot. There's a robot at Bristol Hospital in Connecticut, and my doctor, she was off to the side, and she controlled the robot, but my surgery was done by the robot. And I think that helped me with cutting down on like the pain, because I was in pain, but like the pain and the recovery time, because I feel like I bounced back quick. So I was in the hospital. I was supposed to be in the hospital for 2 days, but I ended up being in the hospital for 4 days because it was kind of hard for me to not keep fluids down, but to get fluids down. I feel like my pouch was so small. It took me like 2 days to drink a bottle of water. It was very difficult for me. And it was very frustrating for me because I'm like, it was just so different. And when you hear people say, oh, you're not going to be able to just go, you don't understand it because you're not in the process. But being in the process, you understand that even now, I'm almost a year out, and I can't take, like, I can take one big gulp and it'll hurt, but if I take 2 big gulps, I'm in pain. So it feels like just a slow drain going down. So, I went through the process. I came home with a PICC line in my arm, and for fluids and stuff like that, just in case I had to go back into the hospital because I was having or if they had to give me IV fluids because I was having such a hard time getting my liquids in. And I ended up having to get the PICC line out maybe a week later, because I had got a blood clot. But one thing I'm going to say about this process is listen to your inner person. You know your body, and you know how you feel. And throughout that day, before I found out that I had the blood clot, or I discovered that something was wrong, I had a little numbness in my arm, and my arm kind of started swelling up a little bit. And I told my daughter, I said, something is wrong. My arm is just feels weird, and it's swelling. And she's like, Ma, you're fine. I'm like, nope, I'm not fine. Something is wrong. And I went to my local emergency room here, and I told them that I wanted it out. It was like maybe 10 o'clock at night. I wanted it out. And they said, okay, we'll take it out. And my daughter was like, Ma, just allow them, go to your doctor on Monday, because I think it was like a Saturday, and let them take it out. No, I want this out today. And I thank God that I listened to my heart. It was taken out. I went to my doctor that Monday, or that Tuesday. They did an ultrasound and discovered that I had a blood clot in my vein leading to my heart that could have killed me. So I just thank God that I listened to myself. And even through that, I do not regret this process. I've lost 139 pounds. I've lost a whole adult person. I've lost a whole teenager. I was 120 pounds when I was 20 years old. So I've lost my whole 20-year-old self. And I still have some work to do. I want to lose 10, 15 more pounds. I want to tone my body. I want to sculpt my body to what I want it to be. Do I have loose skin and extra skin? Yes. Do my breasts look like raisins? Yes, they do. I wear a padded bra. just to make my breasts look nice, because if I didn't, they would look, they would look like a 2-year-old breast. But they're my breasts, and I'm happy, and I'm good. And, am I bikini ready? No, I would say I feel like about 70% of my body is bikini ready. Other than my stomach, the only thing I feel like I have challenges with is my loose skin. I'm going to show you on my stomach and my breast. But I do not regret this surgery. This surgery has saved my life. This surgery has given me back things that I didn't have about myself. My confidence, my self-esteem. This surgery saved me from a unhealthy relationship that I was in. This surgery just really helped me become a better mom. So I thank God for it. And if I could do it 100 times again, I sure would. I would do it 100 times over and over again, because it really brought me to a place where I need to be, and I'm still growing. And I want you guys to be on my journey with me, to see my growth, and we can grow together, because this isn't just going into the operating room and, okay, now I have this small stomach, or and I can't eat that much. This surgery is more than that. This surgery is mental more than anything. This is not just, okay, now I can't eat. Oh, I only eat 4 ounces. I only can eat 2 ounces. This is mental, and it does a job on you for the first 2 weeks. For the first 2 to 3 weeks after I had surgery, I was very depressed. I fell into kind of like a depression, because it's such a change and your hormones are off, and it was such a change for me. But when I saw that weight coming off, I was like, girl, bounce back, okay? Bounce back. And I'm the person who God wants me to be, and I'm becoming the person God wants me to be, and I want to become a better person, stronger. I know I'm gonna have challenges. I know some days I'm gonna look at the scale. Some days I look at the scale and I'm like, what in the world? Why aren't you moving anymore? Okay, or you're fluctuating, because I'm almost a year out. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, I look like I weigh 298 pounds. And then I have to tell myself, the devil is a liar. You are not 298 pounds. You don't look 298 pounds. It's mental. It's like your body. Like today I look at myself, I feel like I've gained 10 pounds, but I haven't. But you just gotta constantly reassure yourself. Prayer helps me. Prayer is my key. And have sound people around you, a base of encouraging people who will let you know, hey, girl, you good. Stop it. So, subscribe. Stay on this journey with me. I'm not gonna lead you wrong. I'm not going to tell you any falsehoods about my life. I'm going to be discussing weight loss, as well as I'm going to be discussing just life as women, and growing, and and raising children on my own, and just the challenges, and how it's not easy, but it's doable because I'm doing it. So you stay blessed, you stay real and true to yourself, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you. Blessings.